for a kickoff between the Wayland Warriors and the Ashland Clockers. And there, Adam Goodfellow, quarterback, kicks off the ball.
Wayland with a nice takedown. The Warriors are currently 1-1 with a disappointing loss to Amesbury last week, 22-14. They're looking to pull off a big win like the one against Hopkinton, which they won 40-6.
Yeah, Deirdre, obviously Wayland 1-1 here. Ashton starting with the ball. What do you think Wayland needs to do here, both offensively and defensively, to win this game and get a winning record?
I think that they need to keep their momentum up. I think that the game we watched last week, they lost all hope, and I think that in the first game, crowd was big, energy was big, and they were really able to thrive off of that energy.
Yeah, no doubt there. And then starting quarterback for Ashland will start with in the shotgun.
Yeah, and that starting quarterback is Luke Herder. He is a senior for Ashland.
Good solid gain there. Looks like about 7 yards. So, Deirdre, who do you think Wayland should rely, or who do you think Wayland's, main players here on defense, how they're going to have to play? Obviously, their seniors are a big part of this defense.
Yeah, I think clearly as we just watched, they're going to try to run this ball a lot. So I think that the defensive line is really going to have to step up and block those run tries, because I don't think that their throw game is quite too good, but I think that their run game is really well. So we got to stop their runs.
Yeah, no doubt, and a good play there. That looks like number 58 with the tackle. Who is Jake Burgess, who's a junior. So that'll bring up third down and short.
Yeah, and twice here, Herder has brought the ball to his co-captain, Andrew Molesky, number 23. And again, they continue to run the ball, so I will assume that they try to do this again because it seems to be working.
Yeah, big third down here. Crowd is hyped. Let's see if Wayland can make a stand and force a punt. And for the first time, Herder will line up under the center. He hands it off, and a big hole, and he gets the first down out to about the 45-yard line of Ashland.
Yeah, and again, that was co-captain Andrew Molesky. He's number 23. He's a senior. And all three plays, they've handed him the ball, and he's run. So clearly he's got some wheels, and he's able to get through those gaps.
Yeah, like you talked about, they're really relying on that running game here early on. Four straight run plays, I should say. And that'll set up a 1st and 10 from the Ashland 45. Ashland 2-0 coming to this contest. Wayland 1-1. So obviously Wayland trying to even up those records here with a win on this relatively cool, breezy Friday night.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not out of the hopes at all for them to be able to come back and win this game and continue their record.
Yeah, a little bit of misdirection there. Looks like it worked, and he'll get Molesky again out to what should be at least close to a first down. They ran a little motion. Looked like they might run a sweep.
It might be a little bit short, but that was a nice play from senior Andrew Molesky.
Yeah, it looks like a 2nd and inches it'll be. But no passes attempted here, so Wayland obviously early on seems to be able to know what Ashland's going to rely on. Herder in the gun now, 2nd and short. Another motion. This time they will give it to number 40, who has some holds. He's still going, breaks a couple tackles, gets out to around the 29 of Wayland. So Ashland moving the ball on the ground here early on. What can Wayland do to stop that?
I think that defensively they've got to get in the mindset that they are going to run, and that every play so far has been a run. So I think that once we finally get on offense, they'll be able to recollect themselves, figure out a game plan. And I think offensively that's where we're going to thrive. We have speed on the ground, but we also have a nice arm from Goodfellow. So we'll be able to see our versatility throughout the players we have.
Yeah, no doubt. And another short snap. This first pass play, he'll try to get the ball off, and a wide open 87 who will walk in.
Touchdown
for a touchdown.
Ashland, number 87, Connor Kramer. That is the sophomore from Ashland.
Yeah, Wayland seemed completely on their heels there. They had no idea that Ashland was going to pass that ball, ran a bunch of run plays. First pass play ends up in a touchdown. It is 6-0 Ashland with 8:17 left in the first quarter.
It looks like number 7, John Giglia, the senior, will be kicking for Ashland.
And number 7 trying to make it 7, and he will. 7-0 Ashland. Wayland looking to get the ball here and answer. So Wayland did defer, and they kicked it off to Ashland, so they will receive the ball at the start of the second half. So, Deirdre, what do you think Wayland has to do here, to put Ashland on the back foot after getting a quick, long drive down the field and a quick score?
I think that they have to do the same thing. They got to push a quick play. They got to get a quick touchdown just to prove, like, hey, we're in this game. We're here. We're here to play. We're here to win. And I think they will be able to do that. We have some really talented players on this team. Like number 1, Adam Goodfellow. He's a really great quarterback. He's really stepped up this year. And number 13, Shane Sutton. He's really been working hard this year.
Yeah, a lot of players are going to have to step up this year. Wayland lost a good amount of seniors last year, so let's see what they'll do as number 7, Kramer, I believe, who just made the extra point, will look to pin Wayland back here as they try to equalize early in this game. And Sutton will be back to receive for Wayland, as well as, I believe, Goodfellow.
Yeah, and Goodfellow back there to receive that ball. It just proves how speedy he really is, and I think that'll be a good key play to this offensive game, and we may see him.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a squib here, and Wayland will just fall on it. I believe that's number
83, I believe.
Yeah. 83, who will be, there's no 83. I think it's 33.
23. Oh, Mackay Walker.
Mackay Walker.
He is a sophomore for Wayland. That was a nice grab.
Yeah, up here in the press box. Kind of hard to see the numbers out there, but we'll do our best up here as Wayland will look to take their first snap on offense from their own 28. Looks like Goodfellow in what looks like a crowded backfield here. 3 guys with him, has 2 running backs flanking him, as well as what looks like maybe a tight end. Short in front, and Goodfellow has to help with equipment there. Looks like we're ready. In this shotgun, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, it'll be, and Ashland saw that all the way. Big hit on Goodfellow. Not much of a gain there.
Yeah, that was a nice play on Ashland to read. Goodfellow did not give away the ball, and I think that hopefully they will be able to figure that kink out and have him be able to run and get through those gaps.
Yeah, same formation here. Looks like a loss of 1 or 2, so we're on 2nd or 12. And Goodfellow, a little confusion on the play. Line up in the same formation, takes the ball in the shotgun. Actually gives it this time, but nowhere to go. Ashland again. Great defense. Tried to get some misdirection there. 2 guys in the back, ran a draw.
And that was senior Shane Sutton who almost had the gap through, but Ashland's defense was really well read, and they stopped that ball really nicely. Senior Sutton will be a very big part of the game today. He's a huge runner. Kid is very fast. He will be.
4 receivers out now. Goodfellow with, I believe, Sutton beside him in the shotgun. Wayland on 3rd and long. Let's see if they can make what seems like already a big conversion here with 7 minutes left in this first quarter. Wayland trying to equalize, down 7-0. Goodfellow all kinds of time, and looks like someone was pushed there. And no flag was called.
That appears to be an interception from Ashland.
Yeah, I believe number 40 was the one who came down with it.
That is Peter Gigliotti.
Yeah, Peter Gigliotti. And I think there was some confusion there. Goodfellow stays on the field. I think Goodfellow had a receiver who was pushed down. He's talking to the refs about it now, but no call was made. And Ashland will have great field position set up inside Wayland territory at the 3-yard line, trying to double their lead. What do you see on that first offensive drive there for Wayland, Deirdre?
I think that we did try to run the ball a lot, and unfortunately that last play did not work, but I think that if that one had worked, it would have been really nice. We would have been able to get further up the field. So I think that defensively we know they're going to run here. Oh, and there appears to be some stoppage of play. Timeout, Ashland. So this actually will be good for Wayland. They'll be able to talk and figure out what they're going to do to stop this Ashland offense.
Yeah, Ashland, as they take their first time out, we'll talk a little about how the game's gone so far. A little less than 7 minutes left in this first quarter. Ashland up 7-0. And if you're just joining us, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of the Wayland Warriors against the Ashland Clockers. I'm Aditya Welling, and alongside me is Deirdre Brown. And Deirdre, so far, obviously Wayland down, back, inside their own territory on defense. Ashland has great field position. What do you think they have to do to turn the tide here?
I think that a huge defensive stop right here will be really good for them. They'll be able to get their momentum up, their energy up. I think that once that energy gets up and our confidence goes up, we'll be able to put together some really good plays and really work together as a team.
Yeah, and for what seems like the first time, Herder will be with just number 23's running back, who's had a great game so far. Beside him, another motion, and he will fake it. And looks like 19 will look to throw. He'll throw it, and
incomplete pass. That was a trick play from the quarterback, number 2, all the way to number 19, which is Jack McGough. It was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, tried something there. Looks like a little bit of a maybe Philly special kind of mix that Philadelphia ran in the Super Bowl 3 or 4 years back, trying to get some misdirection, get Wayland confused, and number 19 for Ashland was trying to throw, which is Jack McGough, who's a senior. But didn't work, and now Herder will line up in the shot again. And again, motion, number 16. He hands it off to him, has some space down on the outside, breaks a tackle, keeps going. He's still in bounds, and he gets out to what looks like around the Wayland 15-yard line. Big run there of about 17 yards.
Yeah, and that was Patrick Dwinells, the junior from Ashland. That was a really nice play.
Yeah, and Ashland really moving the ball at will here on the ground. Only 2 pass plays. One of them has been for a touchdown. Wayland seems a little gassed.
Yeah, Ashland's definitely getting in their heads right now, and I think that that'll be important to talk about once they get back in the huddle. Just calm down and figure everything out, work together as a team, and we'll be able to figure this out.
Again, wide receiver motion. This time he fakes it to him. QB takes it himself, and Wayland does a good job getting to him. Holds it to what looks like maybe a 1, maximum 2-yard gain there. That's the first real big stop Wayland's had on a single play Ashland's ran so far. What do you think that can do for their momentum?
I think that's good. It proves that we are capable of those stops, and those stops will be a huge part of this game today. And if we just keep that up, I think that will be a really big part of what we do.
No doubt there. And a 2nd and long here inside the red zone for Ashland. Number 2, Luke Herder takes the play, lines up in what has been Ashland's main formation here so far. Let's see if they run wide receiver motion again. And linebackers creeping up. Looks like a blitz from Wayland. Herder handles it, throws it outside, and it's an incomplete pass. Great coverage there. 33 had to die for it, couldn't get there. And the pressure almost got to Herder, he had to get it off. And that'll set up 3rd and long. And Deirdre, I have to say, already with 5.5 minutes left in this first quarter, this seems like a big stop for Wayland if they can get it.
Yeah, especially with a very Ashland dominant offense right now. That is a huge stop and a huge play. And I think that if they're able to get this next big stop, it'll be a really big turning point in their momentum.
No doubt. And Ashland comes out of the huddle to see what they line up in here. They'll line up same formation. See if motions ran again. Wayland. Again, number 40 now with the motion. Snap, and they hand it off, and he has room, but a great stop there. What a tackle. I believe that was number...
Yeah, and that was a huge stop from senior captain Luciano Sebastianelli. That was a really nice play.
Yeah, he read it all the way through. Looked like he might have some blockers in a hole, but Sebastianelli snuffed that out and got there in time to hold that third down, and now Ashland for what should be a chip shot, I should say, for their kicker, Connor Kramer. No, John Giglia. Around the same distance as the last extra point. It's up, and it looks like it is good. So double digits here for Ashland, 10-zip with 4:40 left to go in the first quarter. If you are just joining us again, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of the Wayland Warriors against the Ashland Clockers. I'm DT Welling, and alongside me is Deirdre Brown. And you see Wayland trying to regroup here, down double digits.
Yeah, and Wayland just had a couple of consecutive really huge stops on defensively. A huge one from senior captain Luciano Sebastianelli, and I think that momentum will carry along into this offense. And I think senior Adam Goodfellow, QB1, will be able to put this together and make his team work.
Yeah, Goodfellow out there again, plays all three phases. He's back there with Sutton again. So Wayland trying to get sizable return here to set them up in better field position so they can at least try to cut into this Ashland lead. And Giglia will get Ashland ready. Another, I don't know if it's a purposeful, but it looks like a squib kick. Wayland will get to it and get relatively good field position out to the 35. Number 33 fell on it there, Jack Kerrigan.
Yeah, and that kickoff seems to be purposeful, considering Goodfellow and Sutton's speed. I think that they're trying to defer the ball from them, which could work, but I also feel that the team itself collectively has a lot of speed, and if you get it to one of those boys, they'll be able to take off.
No doubt. And Wayland coming out of the huddle now on their second offensive possession. First one ended with an interception, and Goodfellow will try to change that here with three people again in the backfield. It'll be Sutton on his left, and I believe he will fake the handoff, avoid pressure. 87 gets by it. He'll run with it. He'll get to the outside, and a great tackle there. Looked like he had it, but number 23, Ashland's starting running back, Molesky, I believe, brings him down, holds it to what looks like maybe a maximum 2-yard gain. So big play there by Ashland, but a Goodfellow, under pressure early on here.
Yeah, and that was a great example of Goodfellow's speed. He really can work, and that kid's got quick footwork, and he's really shifty. So I think that if he's able to get away, it will be a very clear touchdown.
Yeah, Goodfellow takes a straight snap. He'll run again with it. He'll bounce to the outside, has some space. He'll try to get around the defender, and still on his feet, he'll be taken down. It'll be third and short, maybe around 2 or 3. So Goodfellow running early on here.
Yeah, and it's good to see these running plays early because, like we mentioned, Goodfellow will play all 3 rotations, so he's going to get tired at some point. So it's good to see that these plays early on where he still has his energy and he's still able to really push as hard as he can.
Yeah, and a big third down here. Goodfellow seems to be asking about the play. He'll wait for it. 3 people in the backfield with him again. He'll take the snap in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, gets a block from Shane, unloads it deep. He has a man. He'll catch it, still on his feet. And that is number 3, Finn O'Driscoll, who scores an exhilarating touchdown for Wayland. What a throw there. And Wayland is right back in the game.
Yeah, that was a huge, almost 50-yard throw and a beautiful catch by O'Driscoll.
I think he might have been stopped short is what the refs are saying, but nonetheless a massive play there for Wayland, momentum shifting. What do you see there on that play as Wayland tries to hurry it up here? Goodfellow, again, 3 men in the backfield with him.
Yeah,
waits for the play.
That was just beautiful blocking. It really opened up Goodfellow's options, and even though Sutton was covered, O'Driscoll really worked hard and pushed through, and he was able to get wide open.
To number 5, who is Anthony Cavallo, a junior who
touchdown
gets
Warriors.
In. And that will make it 10-6. Wayland extra point coming up. A big touchdown there set up by the 50-yarder from Goodfellow up to O'Driscoll. And Wayland will line up for the extra point. Let's see who will be kicking that for Wayland here.
That's a huge touchdown from junior Anthony Cavallo. He's recovered from an ACL injury freshman year, and it's really great to see him back on the field.
No doubt, and it'll be number 55, I believe, kicking it off. Or not 55, that can't really see. We'll get that name to you later, but trying to make this a 10-7 game, and it looks like he will. Or maybe he will not.
That was no good. That was senior Ryan Fennelly who took that kick.
Yeah, so that'll keep it a 10-6 game. But nonetheless, a big touchdown there for Wayland. Makes it 10-6 with 3 minutes left in this first quarter. What a big play there, set up by a touchdown, or a almost a 50-yard bomb to O'Driscoll from Goodfellow, which looked like it was really set up by a big block by running back Shane Sutton, who blocked the linebacker who was getting to Goodfellow, gave him the time, and he unleashed downfield. What do you think that does for Wayland here as the first quarter is almost about to wind down?
I think that was a huge touchdown. Wayland really needed that, and it's able to keep them in their minds still in this game as we head into the final 3 minutes of this first quarter. I think that was a huge touchdown for Wayland.
No doubt, and looks like Goodfellow, jack of all trades, will get ready to kick this ball off. He's played quarterback, played cornerback. He's set up to return, and now he'll kick the ball off for the Wayland Warriors. And a pretty high kick, not very deep, but gets it, and they'll lateral to 16, who has a hole. Wayland will get to him, not before he drags guys with him, and he'll get out. It looks like around the 32 or 3-yard line. 2:55 left. You are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of the Wayland Warriors against the Ashland Clockers. I'm Aditya Welling, and alongside me is Deirdre Brown. And it is 10-6 Ashland here early in this game. And the crowd, Deirdre, we can tell up here in the press box, is really getting into it after that big touchdown drive. Let's see if Ashland's able to respond.
Yeah, definitely. After a year of COVID, we're finally able to have the cheerleaders and the band back, and it really brings the crowd's energy up, which will ultimately bring the team's energy up.
And it's a handoff, and Wayland snuffs it out. Great play there. Ashland's ran the ball a lot, and Molesky wasn't able to get anywhere that time. And that'll set up second. It looks like about 13. Wayland seems to have a new juice here, new energy. How do you think that can serve them as this game goes on?
Yeah, I really think that they're reading the ball well now, and they understand what the game is going to be like. And I think that as they continue to read this ball and understand their game, they're going to understand Ashland's game as well, and that's going to bode well for them in the long run.
Herder takes the snap. He'll try to throw it. He'll get it outside. Bobbled and caught. Not much of a gain there, maybe 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, and that was a diving catch by number 3, Jake Trutman, the senior. Ashland's team is very senior dominated, as we've seen throughout this game.
Yeah, as compared to Wayland, who have a lot of juniors starting for this team because of the senior exodus, I guess you could say, from last year. So, obviously doesn't make too much of a difference here, but you could say Ashland's a little more experienced, which might help them in this somewhat hostile environment as a big third down here. Herder will roll out, looking to pass. He has time. He will run with it, and he's well short of
that
the
was
first
a
down
huge
marker.
takedown by number 56, Ryan Fennelly, the senior for Wayland.
Yeah, that'll set up 4th and 4 or 5. Punt team will come out. Big stop there, 3 and out. Wayland with all the momentum on their side here, and they'll get ready to receive Goodfellow, who else will look to return.
Yeah, with just over a minute, there's still definitely time for this Wayland offense to bring the ball back up into their red zone and get a touchdown before the first quarter is over.
Getting ready to punt here for Ashland. And pretty big high kick there. Not too deep. Goodfellow will let it bounce, takes an Ashland bounce. And number 11 will down it at what looks like about the 28-yard line of Wayland. That's where they'll start, and that's where they will try to take the lead here in this 10-6 matchup, 10-6 game, I should say, with a little more than 1 minute left in this first quarter. And it looks like some drizzle is starting to come down here on this game. We knew there would be some rain, so let's see how that affects both teams. Obviously, Ashland more run dependent, so that might favor them, as the ball might be a little more slippery here. Goodfellow looks like he will be alone in the shotgun with 33 moving around for them, who is Jack Kerrigan. He'll take the snap, roll out. Lefty quarterback looks to unload again. He has number 3 O'Driscoll, who caught the pass before. He's going down the sideline, and he is gone. A touchdown for Wayland, and this place is going insane.
And that was a beautiful play by both O'Driscoll and Goodfellow. That was very similar to the one that we saw before that led to ultimately the touchdown by Cavallo. That was a beautiful play. Finn has clearly got the speed and ability to catch that ball and run.
Yeah, and you can sense the chemistry between those two. Obviously in the same grade, seniors, you know, who've been waiting for the opportunity to shine for this team, and they are taking full advantage of it, as Wayland, Ryan Fennelly, who missed the last extra point, will try to make this a 3-point game with less than a minute left in the first quarter. And it is no good. So that'll keep it at a 12-10 game. But nonetheless, 2 big passes from Goodfellow have led to 2 touchdowns. That one just really brought the house down, Deirdre. What'd you see there?
Yeah, and we were talking about that rain and how that might affect the ball, but that clearly did not. That was a huge, huge touchdown for Wayland momentum, and they'll be able to regroup right before the end of the first quarter with just about 56 seconds left. That is plenty of time for them to stop this ball and regroup, recollect, and continue that momentum into that second quarter.
No doubt, and Ashland now on their heels will try to recover here. They started out the game very well. Obviously, ran the ball a lot in their first drive, got all the way into the end zone, then forced a pick from Wayland. Wayland was able to hold them to a field goal inside the red zone, which is huge now looking back on it. That held it to a 10-0 Ashland lead. Then Wayland got the ball. Looked like they were going to have another 3-and-out, but a big pass on third down from Goodfellow to O'Driscoll, as Goodfellow getting ready to kick off. Good kick there. Will be fielded by 40, who slips. And that'll be counted as a kneel down. So unlucky there, but inside the own 15, Ashland will start, and that's just not good for their momentum. But as we were talking about, 2 big passes from Goodfellow to O'Driscoll. One led to a Cavallo touchdown from about the 1, and the other one was just a bomb. I believe it was around 72 yards, if my math is correct. Wayland starting at their own 28 as Goodfellow rolled out and found O'Driscoll on what looked like a post. So, Deirdre, what do you think Ashland now on their heels has to do to get back in this game?
I think that they've got to really regroup. I think that the time that they have in between the first and second quarter is going to be crucial, because you could see that player was clearly very frustrated after he had slipped, and the game will continue to be affected by this rain, and they're going to have to regroup and figure out their game plan to stop the Wayland Warriors right now.
Yeah, Molesky takes the handoff. He'll go down after about 5, so. Second down and 4 here for Ashland at their own 20-yard line. And Herder will line up with Molesky behind him in the short gun, I should say. Takes it and fakes the handoff. He has a wide open number 9 there who will get the first down, get out to around the Ashland 30.
That was a nice tackle by senior David Liu. Grabbed him by the ankles and just took him down, and that will be the end of the first quarter for the Wayland Warriors with the lead of 12-10 over Ashland Clockers.
Yeah, 12-10 lead for Wayland. Again, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. We'll be right back at the start of the second quarter. And back for the start of the second quarter. Herder takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll look to unload, and he has, I believe that's Molesky, the running back. Makes a great catch, big gain. Their first real big gain on the air for Ashland. Gets down to the Wayland 35-yard line. And that'll be how we start the second quarter, but looks like a penalty on the play. First flag of the game. It's on the offense, so that'll be moving back. Big blow to Ashland, who seem to have a momentum there on a big pass play.
Yeah, and that's really, really lucky for the Wayland offense and defense, because that was a huge play for Ashland if that was a complete pass. But unfortunately, that was a penalty on the Ashland Clockers, so we will be back at the 25-yard line.
Herder will take the snap in the short gun. He will hand it off to Molesky, who has a hill. He will take it down to around the 32, which will set up, I believe, a second or third and 8. And they'll run the hurry up here. Ashland trying to get some momentum. As Herder, Molesky on his left, takes a snap, looks to pass, and he gets it out, but a big tackle there by Wayland.
That was a huge tackle by junior Anthony Cavallo. It's really nice to see him stepping up. He had that first touchdown earlier. And it is really nice to see these juniors stepping up after freshman year and sophomore year being a weird COVID year. It's really nice to see them stepping up and taking charge of this Wayland Warriors football team.
Yeah, no doubt, and I believe this is a third down and about 9. Big one here for Ashland and for Wayland. If they can get a stop here, that'd be huge. Herder, this place is going nuts. Herder takes the snap, rolls out, has number 8, and a beautiful pass, and it is incomplete.
That was another huge play by junior Anthony Cavallo. He is having a really nice game early here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it looked like number 8 had the step on Cavallo. Number 8 being Keegan Weiss, the senior. Looked like he almost got by him. Herder tried to lay it out for him, but Cavallo, hustle play, got his hand in there, forced the incompletion, and that's a big, big play, which will force Ashland to punt. And again, if you are just joining us, this is Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. There's a little over 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and it is 12-10 Wayland. Ashland punting from about their own 31-yard line. A big punt there, a good one, good fellow. Won't go near it, takes a Wayland bounce, and it hits off a Wayland player, and Ashland looks like they have possession of it. Unlucky, but looks like Wayland somehow got back on it. Don't know who got there. Might have been number 7, who is Sean Goodfellow.
That was a quite unfortunate bounce off of David Liu, but it appears that number 7 did get that ball back. Number 7, Sean Goodfellow. That is a huge recovery play, because that would have been really, really bad for the Ashland Clockers if they got that.
Yeah, that could have been huge for Ashland, but big recovery there for Wayland, and they will start at their own 31-yard line. Goodfellow in the gun. 2 backs beside him, waiting for the play. It'll be Kerrigan in front of him. Goodfellow gives a snap to Sutton. A little bit of misdirection. Doesn't get much. Looks like about 3. Set up a 2nd and 7. We're just past under 10 minutes left in the second quarter of this football game. A little past 7:30 here. Getting a little colder. Goodfellow, same formation. Hard count, trying to get the Ashland defense to jump off sides. Ashland with 3 guys on the line, but backers seem to be bringing pressure, and they will, but Goodfellow gets it outside, and Sutton with a big run, and that will be a first down out to the Wayland 47. So far, after stumbling out of the gate early on, Wayland is taking control of this game. They're up 2, but seem to have all the momentum on their side. Deirdre, what do you think Ashland could do to get that back?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to recognize Sutton's speed and Goodfellow's arm. They've really got to figure out a backup plan right now, because stopping the runs isn't working and stopping those passes aren't working. So they're going to have to figure something out soon, because Wayland is starting to run away with this momentum.
Same formation, 3rd straight time. Goodfellow will fake the handoff, keep it, but Ashland will get there. Looked like he almost fumbled there, but Adam Goodfellow with a great job holding onto the ball. But not much of a gain there, maximum maybe 1-2 yards. So that'll set up 2nd down and 9 for Wayland, making some substitutions. Number 3, O'Driscoll comes in the game, who's had a brilliant game so far. 2 deep passes, one of them for a touchdown, one of them inside the Ashland 5. Goodfellow with the hard count, waits for the play again. Sutton on his right in front of him is Kerrigan. Goodfellow takes a snap, will roll out right, looking to pass, and it's misdirection. He gets it to 33, Kerrigan, and he breaks a tackle. He's going down the sideline. He's still going, and out to the Ashland 30-yard line. Big play for Wayland.
That's a huge play from the sophomore Jack Kerrigan. Again, really seeing these underclassmen stepping up and taking charge. That was a huge catch.
Yeah, big play there. And Wayland with a little bit of a hurry up. Goodfellow now this time alone in the gun with only Sutton on his left. Will take the snap. Kerrigan on the left side of the line, lined up like a lineman. Goodfellow again waiting for the play. Seems ready now. Takes a snap and gives it to Sutton. Sutton takes a hole and looks like about a 5-yard gain.
That was a nice rollout from Sutton. Even though he was currently being tackled, he was able to use his height and speed, and he just reached for that gain.
2nd down 5.
And again, Wayland hurrying up to the line. Same formation. This time has a receiver out on his left. 3 receivers out wide. And Sutton on his left. 4 receivers, I should say. Trips 3 on the right side. Goodfellow gets the play, takes a snap, fumbles it, gets back to it, has some space on the left side. He will get out of bounds. And that's a great play by Goodfellow there. It looked like it could have been a lost cause, maybe even a turnover, but a flag is on the field. Let's see what the call is. And Wayland is backing up. Looks like it might be on the offense.
It appears that might have been a holding call.
Holding on the offense.
That is really unfortunate because Goodfellow did a really good job of recovering and saving that play from what could have been a really bad place for the Warriors. So we will see what he does here.
Yeah, Goodfellow now with Sutton on his left,
And
Cavallo on his right, Kerrigan in front. 2 receivers out wide, and it is a handoff to Cavallo, who has a touchdown this game, bounces to the outside, gets into a man, and will be out at about what looks like maybe the 25 or 6-yard line. Tries to get some of that back with a little over 6 minutes left in this first half. And again, hurry up for Wayland. Goodfellow getting the play.
Yeah, with 3rd down and 6 here, I'd imagine they try to run the ball again and use their speed, but we will see.
Rolls out right, has some pressure, has to unload, and it is picked off. And number 3,
that is
Jake Troutman.
Drake Troutman, the senior. He's had a couple of nice plays this afternoon.
Yeah, a big play from Troutman there. And Goodfellow had pressure coming in his face, had to get the ball off, just no one open, and Wayland gives the ball up. Ashland will start at around their own 15-yard line with a little less than 6 to go. And if you are just joining us, you're watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football. They are playing the Ashland Clockers. They are up 12-10. Ashland in the huddle, getting ready to start at their own 20, I should say, yard line. Trying to take the lead in this game. There'll be Herder with Molesky on his right. Another wide receiver motion, number 40. Fakes it to him. Herder will keep. Herder breaks a tackle for a little, but Wayland rallies to him and holds him to a 2 or 3 yard gain. Doesn't look like much there.
Yeah, and this second quarter has really gone by fast. We have just over 5 minutes, and it has felt really Wayland dominant, which is really good to see. Ashland does have the ball after an unfortunate play, but that was a huge stop from the defense, and hopefully they'll be able to continue and finish their plays.
Yeah, and a 2nd down here. Herder coming into the huddle with the play. And this is big for Ashland to be able to score here with a little over 5 to go in this first half and get the lead back. Herder, Molesky on his right. Takes a snap, he'll look to pass, unloads downfield, has number 9 with a great pass. Brilliant down the seam to number 9, who is Matt Gillis. And that is a big play. You know, Herder, I know they're down, but Herder's made some nice passes here.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from captain to captain, Herder to Gillis. It is nice to see that they are using their arms as well as their feet, but I think Wayland was so used to them using their feet, they're kind of scrambled right now, but hopefully they'll be able to read these plays well.
Yeah, and Ashland hurrying up here a little too. Herder now with Molesky right behind him in the short gun. He will hand it off to him. Molesky is brought down almost immediately. 1 or 2 yard gain. Big play by number 56 for Wayland, which is Ryan Fennelly. So 2nd and 9 here. The Wayland 44. A little over 4 to play in this first half. Ashland trying to regain the lead. Herder will take it under the center for the first time in a while. Molesky behind him, as well as a fullback or lead blocker. It's a toss outside. Molesky tries to bounce to the outside. He will get there. A good run for Molesky. Gets out to around the first down. Looks like he's about a yard short. So a big 3rd down and short here. Deirdre, what do you think Ashland and Wayland are thinking here?
I think Ashland will try to rush this play fast and just try to keep their momentum going. Wayland, I think they really got to see this play. I think that Ashland has run a couple of trick plays, so there is a possibility of that. I think that Ashland is hunting for this third down.
They
So
set up here with heavy protection. Another same formation. Molesky with a lead blocker. And looks like a QB run play. I don't know if it was designed, but it turns out that way. And around a 5-yard gain out to the Wayland 31. We just passed under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Ashland driving here, trying to regain this lead. You can see Wayland looks a little fatigued here on defense. You know, they played well in the past couple of series, but some situational plays by Ashland have kept this drive going. And looks like either a timeout. Yeah, timeout is called here by Wayland.
I think that was the right call. Wayland needs to regroup and figure out what they're going to do. Yeah, Ashland right now has been a little bit unpredictable, which is working to their effect. But I think Wayland has the ability to read it and stop it. So hopefully they'll be able to regroup, get their guys some water, give them some rest, and put them right back out. And you'll often notice us saying the same names over and over, and that is because a lot of these guys are playing the full game and playing every minute. So a lot of these guys are very tired currently.
Yeah, obviously you can see some fatigue on the field. No surprise there. These guys have played hard, both teams, in this 12-10 battle. A little over 2.5 to go before they will get their break in the first half marker. So will we, but as of now, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of the Wayland Warriors against the Ashland Clockers. I'm D.T. Welling, and alongside me is Deirdre Brown. And Ashland, coming out of this Wayland timeout, will line up with Herder in the short gun, Molesky right behind him. Herder takes the snap, keeps it, looks to pass, and he will run with it. Has a lane outside, gets a first down. Good run there. I think he was trying to pass it, but good recognition there by Herder to see that there was nothing there and take the lane that was his. Gets a first down here inside the Wayland 20, I believe, which will put them, around the 17-yard line inside the Wayland red zone.
That was a nice tackle by Sebastianelli, senior captain. If he was not there, that could have been a dangerous play and could have led to a touchdown. So that was a nice takedown by him.
No doubt there. And Ashland, again, heavy protection. Molesky with the lead blocker, takes the handoff, has some room. He's powering his way down to the 6 or 7 yard line of Wayland, just past under 2 minutes to go. And Herder will go to the sideline to take the play. Clock running, just about 150 left in this game. And Herder comes back to the huddle. Coming up on 90 seconds here. Ashland trying to punch one in to take, with the extra point, what would be a 5-point lead. Heavy protection again. I think Wayland knows they're trying to feed Molesky. Let's see if they can counteract that. Herder takes the snap, gives it to Molesky. Molesky with Ashland player signaling touchdown, and the refs will too. Touchdown for Ashland. And that's a big drive there for Ashland. Long, sustained. And with 1:10 left to go, Ashland with a 4-point lead. Pat, point after try yet to come. What do you see in there on that drive for Ashland, Deirdre?
I think that the gap was wide open, and as much as Wayland tried to recover and get back, Molesky was really able to just push forward. And I think that noticing that Molesky has had the ball every time will come into play in this second half, as we are just over a minute in the second quarter.
Yeah, number 7, John Giglia, who has made all his tries so far today, will look to punch in this extra point. And he will. 17-12. Ashland leading here with a little over a minute to go in this first half.
Like we've said before, just over a minute is plenty of time for Wayland to get this touchdown. Last quarter, they were able to do it with 1:20. They did it within the first 10 seconds of that quarter. So we will be able to hopefully pull out a touchdown going into the second half and pull out a lead.
Yeah, and you think Wayland should play it safe here, Deirdre, or you think they should, go out and try to at least get a field goal, depending on where their field position is, obviously?
I think that they should take everything they've got because their guys are only going to get more tired. So any lead that they can push or any more points they can squeeze out of this first half will do them as much good as it will be able to hopefully achieve, and they'll hopefully be able to use that momentum into their first quarter or second quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. And now what's shaping up to be a good game nearing halftime. Goodfellow and Sutton back. Ashland has scooped it so far in all their kickoffs. Probably purposely trying not to kick it off to Sutton and Goodfellow, who, as we've seen so far, have some serious speed. But let's see what they do here.
It appears Wayland is lined up ready for this kick.
Yeah, another squib. It'll be number 23 takes it, tackled at the 35-yard line. Number 23 is...
That is Makai Walker, the
Makai
sophomore.
Walker. And 1:06. 66 seconds left to play in this first half. Wayland's offense getting a talking to by the coach. Probably telling them not to, risk anything, but to, not take these, 66 seconds for granted, because, the points here could be the difference in the game, as we know.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try for the 1 yard gains. I think that they are going to push for a higher level of play, but not, again, go for a crazy trick play or anything like that.
Yeah, and Goodfellow with Sutton and I believe Cavallo again beside him, and Kerrigan on his short left right in front of him. He will hand it off to Sutton. Sutton has a lane. Sutton is going. Sutton makes a move. Sutton is down to the 44-yard line of Ashland. Big play, exactly what they wanted. And it is exactly 1 minute left. I don't know if Wayland called a timeout there.
That's a beautiful example of low risk, high reward. There was no real risk of handing Sutton that ball, and he was able to take it and run with it.
Clock is running here. Goodfellow takes a snap, hands it off to Sutton again. Sutton will, it looks like, hurdle a man and get down to almost the Ashland 35, but the clock currently stopped at 40 seconds. Is stopped because of a timeout for Wayland. I believe their second of the half. So,
yeah, and that is a very nice, very smart timeout. Just give your guys a couple of seconds to catch their breath and really execute on these last 40 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, and coach obviously talking to his team here, trying to calm him down after two big run plays by Shane Sutton. If you had to give three stars of the game so far, I would say Goodfellow, O'Driscoll, and Sutton. What do you think all three of those have done here tonight, how that's contributed to the game?
I think that they have all shown their speed and their versatility. Goodfellow has run a lot, and he's also shown how far he can throw that ball, and O'Driscoll has shown his speed, and Sutton has really showed his speed as well, and they've showed their shiftiness and how well they're able to read the play and how they can see the play unfolding. And that has ultimately led to our 12 points on the board tonight.
Yeah, and looking to add more here. 40 seconds on the clock. Goodfellow lines up. It'll be Sutton on his right, Cavallo on his left. He will have two receivers outside, and Kerrigan slightly behind off his line. Goodfellow with a rusher in his face avoids him. Looking to throw, and he will take it out of bounds. Did not want to risk throwing it up there, turning it over. Loses one or two in the process. 34 seconds left in the first half. It'll be third down for Wayland. Third down, and looks like short though for second. Yeah, Goodfellow, a little bit of confusion, a flag on the play. Looks like it might be a false start. Yeah, false start on the offense. And it is going to be, we're going to have to back up here. Ref's having a discussion. Don't know exactly what's going on, but still some confusion on the field. Let's see what the call is.
And with 34 seconds left in this game, we will be heading to our sideline reporter after the first half is done, and we will be able to hear an inside look from what the coaches are feeling, what the players are feeling as they're headed into that locker room. Our sideline reporter today will be Lucy Grasso, a junior, here at Wayland.
Still some confusion on the field. I don't think either team knows exactly what's going on. Ref's having a conversation.
The Wayland coaches do not look very happy right now.
Yeah, all on the field, and looks like ref explains what's going on. Wayland, both teams look like they're ready to start. Just waiting on refs here. They'll walk it back to the Ashland 43. So it is 2nd down and 13, I believe.
So it appears that there was a penalty on Wayland, and we are now at the 44-yard line right now.
Second and 13 is 2nd and 20. And I don't know what the confusion is right now, but a big delay here.
A lot of the players are just trying to stay warm, keep moving.
Both teams look pretty exhausted with whatever is going on here. Trying to get it all sorted out.
There is a lot of confusion within the stadium right now. The refs are confused, the players are confused, the coaches are confused and not happy.
And looks like they'll set up at 2nd and 20, and at the Ashland 43-yard line. And Wayland trying to get the snap off. A lot of confusion here.
As you can see, there is a lot of Ashland players running off the field.
Now Goodfellow will take the snap in the shotgun. He will run with it. Bounces to the outside. Has space. Will get to the 33, I believe. 26 seconds left to go. 3rd and about 7. It looks like 3rd and 8 maybe.
And that tackle on Goodfellow was made by the senior Keegan Weiss.
And some technical difficulties there for us, but we are back. And now I believe a timeout is
We are back now. Sorry about that, everyone. With 11 seconds left on the clock, both teams huddle up. There was a lot of confusion on the field. Coaches and refs are having conversations right now, and we are waiting and anticipating what will happen in these last crazy 11 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, and I think it's around, don't really know now with all the confusion, but I believe it's around 3rd and maybe 7 or 8. But what do you think Wayland should do here on this 3rd down? They don't look like they have time to run more than maybe maximum 2 plays. And I don't know if they trust their kicker here who missed 2 extra points to go from long distance. So what do you think they should do here as Goodfellow lines up, alone in the gun, 3 receivers close to each other on the left side, and again
there's a lot of confusion.
Ashland will take a timeout now.
I think that is helpful to know that there is a timeout just to regroup. I think that the whole team was very confused, as are we, as viewers watching this. I think that personally they should go for the touchdown. I mean, there's 11 seconds left on the clock. It's really not enough time for Ashland to do anything left with it if they do get that touchdown off of a receiving play. So Adam Goodfellow clearly has the arm for it, and if we have 3 receivers out on the field that are very talented and have caught all their balls today, I see why not.
Yeah, and obviously if it does get down, and Goodfellow doesn't have a target, he might just want to throw it out of bounds, stop the clock, because even on 4th down, if there's 1 or 2 seconds left, they can just run and play without fear of any consequences. Now Goodfellow finally ready, will take the snap in a shotgun. Rolls out to the left, looking to pass. He will unload down. He has Cavallo. Cavallo tries to stay in bounds. Not Cavallo, it will be O'Driscoll, who gets out of bounds at the 21, I want to say.
And O'Driscoll's been really having a day. He has caught every single ball that has been thrown at him, and he has made a huge impact. With 5 seconds left on the clock, I wouldn't be surprised if the ball went to him again.
Yeah, first down here, 5 seconds left in this first half. Wayland trying to get some points on the board here before they head in for halftime. Goodfellow getting the play from the sideline. It'll be 4 receivers out wide. Sutton on his right for now. And this might be the last play of the half. Let's see what Wayland calls here. Goodfellow takes the snap, fakes it to Sutton, has protection, unloads downfield into nothing, and that will be the end of the first half. You have been watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. Score at halftime is 17-12.
And we will now be going down to our sideline reporter, Lucy Grasso, as she tries to coach and get position. We'll be heading down to them as soon as possible. Thank you for tuning in.
I think needs to be made in the second half to keep the intensity up and hopefully edge out this Ashland team?
We're playing great football right now, offense, defense, special teams. Something's got to give. We got to get a couple more plays here. We're getting the ball right now, so we really need a score right now, and that will set the tone for the rest of the game.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck in the second half.
Hello and welcome to Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football. I'm Aditya Welling. Alongside me is Deirdre Brown, and we're getting set for kickoff in the second half. Ashland will kick it off. Wayland deferred. Goodfellow for the first time will receive it. He tries to bounce outside, seems to have some room. He's still going up the sideline and will be taken out of bounds after a good run out to the Wayland 43-yard line. Best field position they've had so far. Deirdre, what do you see in that first half?
In the first half, I think that Ashland took out a strong lead, and then Wayland slowly crept their way back and were able to work together as a team. I think the end kind of got a little crazy and messy, but I think that is why they decided to defer and receive the kick in the second half, because they know they can push that momentum out and just hold on to it and continue to dominate.
Yeah, and stars of the first half, you have to say, Adam Goodfellow, Shane Sutton, who's currently on his left in the right, I should say, in the shotgun, and Finn O'Driscoll, who has played virtually every snap. And he'll hand it off to Sutton, who has a big hole. Sutton tries to break a tackle. He will, and he will get, with forward progress, will get a first down, and still keeps going. I don't know if they'll count that. The whistle was blown, but Sutton really had 3 great runs at the end of the first. Let's see if he'll carry that momentum into the second half as Wayland is down 17-12.
Yeah, and Sutton was a little quiet in that first half, which is very uncharacteristic of him, but we did see him start to creep out of his shell right in those final minutes of the second quarter, so hopefully here in this second half he'll really thrive.
Yeah, and again, Goodfellow with the stacked backfield. Sutton on his right, Cavallo has a touchdown on his left. Kerrigan, and again it'll go to Sutton, who bounced to the outside, makes a move. He won't get too far. I think a fumble is what Ashland is saying. Looks like Wayland recovered. But a gain of about 2 or 3. Deirdre, obviously Wayland looked to have the momentum after stumbling early on, down 10-zip. Scored 2 touchdowns, missed extra points, but nonetheless we're up 12-10, had the ball. A pick was thrown by Goodfellow. Ashland had a big, long drive to almost end the half. Wayland threatened at the end as Sutton slips a little, gets out of it, and gets down. Looks like it'll be 3rd and short coming up, but as I was saying, 17-12 now here. Looks like the momentum is up in the air. Obviously Ashland's up, but they were down for a big part of that first half. What do you think one team has to do to regain that?
Yeah, like you said, it is very, very close game, and I think that making those extra kicks on Wayland's half may be the deciding factor. And I think that on Ashland's end, just driving those touchdowns, they clearly have a very talented kicker, and they may be relying on that too much to get those 3 points. But I think if they strive for that full touchdown, they'll be able to regain their momentum. But it does look like Wayland has done a really, really nice job here opening up early in the second half.
No doubt, and I believe a first down was picked up by Sutton there. It was. And on a 3rd down and short, they'll pick it up. And Wayland will set up with a 1st and 10 at the Ashland 34-yard line. And Goodfellow with Sutton on his left, Sutton on his right, Cavallo on his left. Kerrigan now creeping towards. And another handoff to Sutton, which is snuffed out by Ashland. Looks like it'll be good for a 2 or 3 yard loss. Setting up 2nd and long inside Ashland territory. Wayland again trying to take the lead with a touchdown.
Yeah, and with Wayland continuing to hand the ball off to Sutton, you can see his fatigue. And hopefully he'll be able to channel his fatigue into something on the field. But he is clearly very tired right now, so I wonder if Wayland will switch up the play or not.
Yeah, and Goodfellow hasn't passed, I don't believe, at all this drive. This time he will give it to Cavallo. Cavallo takes the hole and close to a first down to the Ashland, I should say, 27.
Yeah, and I think that was the right call, giving it to someone other than Sutton. He is hurting right now, and Cavallo is just as good as an option.
Yeah, you see Sutton with his hands on his hips. He looks a little fatigued. Cavallo obviously already has a touchdown in this game. It'll be great to get in some touches, and I believe it will be a 3rd and short here, around 2. 3rd and 3, I should say. And Goodfellow, Sutton on his right again, Cavallo on his left. He will give it to Sutton. Sutton does not look to have the first down, obviously. Don't know for sure here. And yeah, it looks like it'll be 4th down. Wouldn't be surprised if Wayland went for it. It looks like they will right now. 4th and 1, I should say. Big play here, probably the biggest play of the game so far. Ashland can get a stop here, that would be huge.
Yeah, and I think the ball will probably go to Sutton. He is tired, but he is a reliable player. And, and they go with Cavallo on this play, actually. Oh, never mind.
And, yeah, misdirection there. It was a play-action keep. Read option there for Goodfellow. And he seems to have enough for the first down. No signal yet.
From our viewpoint, it looks like it will be a first down.
Big conversion there for Wayland. Great run. I don't know if that was designed or if Goodfellow had to make the read at the point of attack, but
either way, that was a nice play on behalf of both of them.
Cavallo coming out of the game now. Goodfellow, for the first time on this drive, will be alone in the shotgun with only Sutton on his right. All 3 receivers lined up outside. Kerrigan, I believe as well, will be on the right side. So all 4 receiving threats on the right side of the hash. Goodfellow, again some confusion. The refs were quiet early on, but have added some unnecessary confusion to this game, especially at the end of the first half and now at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the Wayland student section is chanting, "You can't do that." They are clearly frustrated, just as well as the Wayland coaches are frustrated with the referee's decision right there.
Yeah, ironically, that was actually an offsides on Ashland, so with the Wayland students chanting, Wayland gains 5 yards on that penalty, and it'll get down to the Ashland 18 or 19 inside the red zone. Again, Goodfellow in the shotgun will give it to Sutton, who has a wide open hole, and that is a touchdown. Sutton gives Wayland the lead, 18-17, with an extra point to come, and this place is energized once again. Shane Sutton with an 18-yard touchdown run, and point after try coming up. Fennelly, it looks like Makai Walker.
And Sutton has just proved his speed time and time again, and that was a great play by the senior.
Smart play here by Wayland. Looks like they're going to try to go for 2 to make this a 3-point game. They know they've had some kicker struggles here. Goodfellow on the right side of the hash will look to punch it in from the 2 to make this a 20-17 game after the Shane Sutton touchdown. Goodfellow looks frustrated, waiting for the play. It looks like Sutton will be on his left.
And if they are able to complete this, that would be very good for the Wayland's offense and Wayland's team just in general as momentum.
Sutton bounce to the outside. He will
and
get
he is
in.
Good.
Big run by Sutton, had to truck a guy. Gets in. It is 20-17 Wayland, a 3-point lead. And again, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers with 6:37 left in the third quarter. It is 20-17 Wayland after Shane Sutton does it all on this drive. Had a couple big runs early on, punches in an 18-yarder, and then finishes with a 2-point conversion on the toss outside. And Wayland will kick off, getting the momentum back again. What did you see on that drive there, Deirdre?
I think that was a really good coaching call to go for that 2 points. They have trust in Sutton, and Sutton has proved to them, and he's let them know that they can rely on him to converge on that 2 points, and that was a really nice overall play.
And looks like Wayland getting ready to kick off. Goodfellow doing it all again for Wayland. Will look to kick this ball deep in Ashland territory. We should mention Wayland 1-1 after a 40-6 win over Hopkinton and a 22-14 loss to Amesbury. Meanwhile, Ashland 2-0 coming to this game. Wayland trying to even though a big kick by Goodfellow. Wow. And that'll bounce into the end zone and then out of bounds, which I believe will lead to a touchback. And best kick of the game so far by either team. Goodfellow with a boomer. And Ashland will set up at their own 20-yard line, trying to tie or take the lead here. And Ashland's starting quarterback, Luke Herder, senior, number 2, has had a pretty good game so far. Hasn't been asked to pass as much. Has 1 pick on the day, I believe, while Goodfellow has had a little more free reign passing it as Herder lines up. Molesky behind him, who's had a big game. He carries some guy out, and he's still going. He's out on the outside. He cuts back inside, and Goodfellow tries to bring him down. He cannot. He's still going. He's still going 20, and he is brought down at the 16-yard line. What a run by Molesky. Already had a great game. Broke a bunch of tackles there and got inside of the Wayland red zone. Deirdre, what did you see on that play?
That was a lot. That was a really good play by Andrew Molesky, the Ashland senior. But from a Wayland standpoint, the hustle from the senior captain, Sebastian Elliott, to get by and tackle him after the Ashland player, number 23, broke 3 tackles. He hustled to that ball and was able to stop him, preventing him from that touchdown.
And a relatively close formation there. Looked like almost a kneeling formation, but looks like a short handoff, maybe a little bit of a toss to Molesky. Doesn't go for much, but they'll get inside the Wayland 15, trying to punch it in here quickly as we get right below 6 minutes left in this third quarter. set up by a giant run by Molesky. I think that'll go down as a plays run here. Doesn't look like for much, but that run from Molesky, doing some quick math here, looks like it'll go for 64 yards. And that is huge for Ashland. But now they are in a 3rd down and 6, trying to get in the end zone rather than setting for a field goal. And Wayland was here again back when they were down 7-0, and Ashland was trying to punch it in to really take the momentum. Wayland had to stop inside their own red zone. They'll try to get another one here with Herder. Molesky on his right in the shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Herder takes a snap, has protection, avoids a rusher, but he can't do it for long, tries to throw it, and it's incomplete. Great stop there by Wayland. I think it was Sebastianelli who was applying the pressure. And Keegan Rice was the intended, or Keegan Weiss, I should say, senior, was the intended target. Couldn't get there, but big stop there for Wayland, but I don't know. Wayland's, Ashland's offense, I should say, does not look to have left the field yet. Neither has Herder, still talking to the coaches.
I think
and
that
he comes back in.
This is where the home team advantage is really helpful, because the Wayland student section is loud, the team is hyped, and they know how important it is to stop this ball, and Ashland's feeling discouraged, but Wayland is hyped up and loud.
This place is going insane. 4th and 6 around the Wayland 15-yard line. Herder takes a snap, has a rusher in his face, tries to unload it, is too high, and Wayland takes over at their own 15-yard line. Big stop after a massive run for Molesky. Cannot punch it in, cannot get any points after missing on the 4th down try. And Adam Goodfellow and the Wayland offense will now start at their own 15. Deirdre, what do you see on that stop there for Wayland?
That was a beautiful rush by the defense to pressure Herder. He was forced to make a terrible pass, and it went straight over his teammate's head. And I think that that's what's going to have to continue to happen for Wayland to stay with this lead in just under 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. I think that is totally possible, and I think that they'll totally be able to come away with this game if they continue that type of play.
Yeah, Herder, he overshot him by 2 or 3 yards. You think the home, the chanting and the home team advantage that Wayland has had to do with some of the nerves in that throw there?
I definitely do. Coming from being an athlete myself, it's hard when the other team is loud and you have a meek little sideline. Ashland has not a lot of representation right now, and with the representation Wayland is putting out right now, there's so much support for our players that it would definitely make any athlete nervous.
Yeah, and both teams with a little huddle here. I don't know, but timeout was called by Wayland. Yeah, timeout was called by Wayland. So they will look to regroup here after a big stop on 4th down with a 20-17 lead. And again, with 4:48 left in the 3rd quarter, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. Wayland currently holding on to a 20-17 lead after an opening touchdown drive led by Shane Sutton, who punched in an 18-yard run and then a 2-point conversion. Goodfellow now has Sutton on his right, Cavallo on his left, as he's had the entire game, or for most of it, I should say. Kerrigan right in front on the left side. He'll take the snap. He'll look to run with it. Bounces to the outside. Looks to cut back. He does. He's brought down after a gain of about 7. Pretty good run there. Didn't have much to do. Had to cut back, and at around the 22-yard line, it looks like he's brought down to bring up a 2nd and 4, I should say.
I'm really still amazed with how fast and how well Goodfellow is running with this ball. He has played this whole game, and he is clearly tired, but he's still putting in work, and he's really working hard at it, and he's able to break free from some of these Ashland defenders.
Yeah, and Goodfellow now. Sutton on his right, O'Driscoll on the bottom side, if you're watching. Bottom of the screen as he hands off to Sutton, who will take it to the left side. Has space. Let's see if he can get through it. He'll get out of bounds. Don't know exactly where, but definitely has the 1st down. Sutton again, in the second half, seems to be the biggest driver of this Wayland offense. A little less than 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wayland up by 3. Trying to hold on to this game to go up to 2-1, sending Ashland, who are currently undefeated, to 2-1 as well. Ashland has some backers creeping up in the box. Let's see if they decide to blitz. Looks like Wayland might check here, as Goodfellow seems to notice. Ashland again brings some guys in, and they will blitz, but he gets it off to, I believe, Cavallo, who gets maybe 3, which will set down a 2nd and 6 or 7 at the Wayland 37-yard line.
And something we were talking about earlier is how a lot of the seniors have a lot of playing time and experience in this game, and some of the juniors do as well. But there is currently a huge injury list. And Aditya, I was wondering how you feel that the team is performing with this long injury list.
Yeah, obviously with the lead, you have to say they're performing well, as a play snuffed out. Cavallo has nowhere to go and a loss. Looks like they'll have a 3rd and long coming up. But as you were saying, Alex Mealy out with an infected lip. Finn O'Driscoll, who has a spleen injury, but obviously, as we can see, is still playing. But playing through injury, that's what the great players do. And he's had some big receptions, one for a touchdown. But as well as Tommy Burke, who has a partial ACL dislocation, Dante Capola, who has a dislocated shoulder, and Ben Bolivar, who has a spinal issue, with 4 receivers out on his 3rd and long. We'll wait for this play. Goodfellow will give it to Sutton, who seems to have some space. A flag is thrown. Sutton seems to have the first down, but Ashland defenders are pointing towards Wayland, and I think Wayland is backing up. But sorry, Wayland running some hurry up, hard to answer these questions, but back to what you're talking about, Deirdre. Yeah, you have to say Wayland's been playing great. With 2.5 left in this third quarter, with a lead against an undefeated team, you have to say that these injuries aren't affecting them as much as we might have expected. Obviously, they would love to have those players back. Alex Mealy, a big part of this Wayland team, but regardless, they've held up pretty well so far. And they will back up, and this will be a 3rd and 20, I believe.
And we see the trainer, Katie, with Sutton and Coach P walking off the field, which is not a sight that we like to see.
Yeah.
After flag on the play, that is not looking too good for Wayland right now.
Yeah, Sutton has hands on his hips late in the first half. He seemed to be a little fatigued, and who knows what that is. He seems to be able to get off the field with his own power, which is obviously great, as now Cavallo will take over lead back roles on Goodfellow's right on this 3rd and very long 3rd and 20. And Goodfellow gets through. Goodfellow has space. He is going. He will bounce out to the left side of the field. He's still going. And he will get out of bounds at the 31-yard line. An improbable conversion on 3rd and 20. And that'll set up Wayland with a 1st and 10 at the Ashland 31-yard line. Goodfellow just again showing off the speed and the recognition to burst through that line when he saw a hole. What did you see there, Deirdre?
I'm just seeing Wayland's versatility and how even without one of their top leaders and scorers, Sutton out, they're still able to create these holes.
And a good sign, Sutton back in the game now.
That is a really good sign for Wayland. But like I was saying, even without those big leaders, we're still able to create those gaps and have those huge plays, as Goodfellow just did.
Yeah, and now Sutton on Goodfellow's right, looking to capitalize as they will wait for the play. Goodfellow now ready in the gun.
With just over 2 minutes, things are looking really good for Wayland right now.
Hand off to Sutton. Sutton fresh back into the game, and he seems to fumble it. Looks like Ashland has the ball, and they do. A big fumble there for Wayland. Sutton coughs it up, and Ashland with a big turnover, their 3rd, I believe, of the game, as Sutton is shaken up for the 2nd time. I believe that's Sutton on the floor right now. Gets up now. He is limping, and that is not a good sign. Wayland's trainer has to come on again. As you see, number 7 there for Wayland, Sean Goodfellow. Good sport there, trying to comfort him off the field as he might be hurt there. Obviously, we wish him the best, but that turnover there might prove costly. A little over 2 left in the third, as Ashland will take over deep in their own territory at around the 16-yard line, 17-yard line.
Yeah, that is a really unfortunate play for Wayland, considering the run that Goodfellow had just had. But hopefully their momentum will stay strong.
And Herder hands it off to Molesky, who's already had a big run to start this half, and he does not get much. Good recognition there by Wayland, and that will be a gain of 3, I believe.
There appears there might be a little bit of chippiness going on. I saw Goodfellow, the other Goodfellow, Sean Goodfellow, and one of Ashland's players pushing each other around a little bit, so that might be a contributing factor, and tensions are high right now.
Yeah, obviously late into games in a hostile environment, which I would say you can characterize Wayland as one right now. Herder getting ready in the gun. Some wide receiver motion, which we saw a lot of in the first half. This time it will go to number 40, who has space on the outside. He'll burst through. He is taken out not before getting the first down, out to the Ashland 36-yard line. Number 40 is Natsuki Kawabe, and he is, no it is not.
Correction, that's Peter Gigliotti.
Sorry, it's a little hard to see up here, but nonetheless, great play for Ashland, and that'll set them up with a first down, trying to tie or take the lead. Herder now in the gun. Molesky on his left. Another wide receiver motion. It is this time a fake. Herder will keep it and will be taken down, a gain of about 4. But yeah, Deirdre, obviously early on we saw a lot of wide receiver motion. It looks like some jet sweeps, some fake sweeps, some misdirection. They went off that last time, which led to the Wayland 4th down stop. But now they're getting back to it, seem to be successful. How do you think Wayland can counteract that?
I think rushing has been really well, and possibly blitzing as well. I think when they put that pressure on Herder, it's harder for him to see, and he gets a little nervous. And every time we've seen him run with the ball, it has ended up in a sack or a tackle.
Herder to Molesky, who's already had a big run, bounced out to the outside and is taken down not before getting a first down, is out to the Wayland 47. And another first down. And Ashland's had been, Wayland has had 3 touchdowns, but most of them have been kick-started. Obviously, the one to start the half was with some, ground and pound by Sutton, but the first 2 were kick-started by some deep bombs. Obviously, one of them was just a one-play flick of the wrist by Goodfellow to a streaking Finn O'Driscoll for a touchdown of 72 yards, but the other one was kick-started by another long pass to O'Driscoll as Cavallo on the blitz doesn't get there. Molesky just powering through people for a nice gain. Again, some chippiness. Sean Goodfellow jostling a little with Ashland. But as we were saying, Wayland's had more some magic in their drives, while Ashland's just grounded and pounded a lot of runs to some long sustained drives, which might be harder, which is why Wayland seems a little fatigued. And a good place to call a timeout for. Oh no, it's the end of the third quarter, I should say. Sorry. And,
wow, that was a quick quarter.
And Sutton, you can see on the right of your screen is getting, I believe the right of your screen is getting worked out by the trainer, and we will be back for the start of the 4th quarter. You are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football. We are back for Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. 4th quarter starting. I'm Aditi Welling alongside me is Deirdre Brown. A handoff to Molesky, who will break a couple tackles again, gets down inside the Wayland 35. Looks like around the Wayland 34-yard line. And this 4th quarter, obviously, 4th quarter of any football game is going to be huge, but in a tight contest, 20-17 Wayland. Well, what do you think one team's going to have to do to pull out of here with this win?
I think, as we just saw, Ashland got off to a very quick start in this 4th quarter, and I think that they will continue to rush the ball fast. And I think that on either team, that rushing the ball and keeping that momentum up quick, just confuse the other team. I think that will end up working out really well for either team.
Yeah. as another handoff to Molesky, who takes a hole. He is brought down, though, after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Set up second and...
yeah, and a
about
huge
5 or
stop
6.
here from Wayland would be really nice because they do risk getting the ball into a zone where their Ashland's kicker could possibly make that field goal. He is a talented kicker and has made everyone so far. So I think Wayland's really working hard.
Yeah,
John Giglia.
Senior number 7, has made all his kicks, as Deirdre said. So I don't know what his exact range is, but, you know, wouldn't be surprised if he can get one in from here. So as Deirdre said, a turnover or a big stop here would be huge. As Herder looks to pass on play action, has time, and it is incomplete. A big play there. Who else but Goodfellow?
Just continuing to prove his versatility and importance on this field.
Yeah, big stop there. Gets in front of the pass. First real pass I can remember of this drive for Ashland. Have fed Molesky the entire drive, but that time a play action to him, rolled out. Herder had time. A little low, but Goodfellow got there in time. And we still see Sutton being worked out by a teammate on the sideline. So obviously we hope he's able to get back in this game. But
I
the
think
Wayland
from a
crowd
Wayland
getting ready here.
From a Wayland standpoint, I think that putting that pressure on Herder is really working. Every time he's had the ball lately, he has made a couple of incomplete passes, and I think it's really starting to get into his head.
Yeah, another tough run by Molesky, who's just been bowling through this Wayland defense this entire game. I don't know if it's enough for a first down. Looks like the refs will mark him short at 3rd and about 1. So no need to say it, but a big 3rd down here. Should say a 4th and 1, and there's no doubt Ashland will go for it here, unless.
And I think we would expect them to give the ball to Molesky, and I think it would be really nice if they didn't and they pressured Herder, because Wayland can't come up with that stop.
And Herder will get there easily, faked kind of a pitch looked like, and then just went with it himself. Not much to get there, but he gets what he needs and gets inside the Wayland 25. Looks like around the 21 or 22 yard line, which will set up Ashland nicely as we get right around 9.5 left to go in this game. Herder takes the play. This Wayland defense, you can see them. They hands on their hips. They're fatigued. You know, they've had stretches where they've played really well. Obviously, 2 big stops inside their own red zone. But now Herder with Molesky on his right in the gun. Let's see if he passes it here. A rare pass play for Ashland if it happens. But it's a motion. We've seen a lot of this so far. And he'll have space. He is going, and he is brought down finally at around the Wayland 10-yard line. That is number 40, who's had a lot of sweep action, who is Peter Gigliotti.
Yeah, and Wayland's defense, you can tell, is very tired, as we've talked about. And their coaches do expect a lot from them, but these kids are very talented, and they are able to play these full games. I think what their coaches are telling them right now is they've got just over 8 minutes in this game, and all they have to do is work as hard as they can, and they have the ability in them to do it, so they're just looking for anything they've got right now.
Power formation here for Ashland. Herder right behind center will take the snap. He will give it to Molesky, who was stopped initially, tries to surge ahead, but it won't be much.
That was a great play by Wayland's defense. Even though Molesky was able to dive over, they were still able to stop him from running anymore.
No doubt, and that will lead to a 2nd and something. Ashland getting ready here. Herder in the short gun will not give it. He'll roll out, and a wide open number 9 will easily score and give Ashland, for the time being, a 3-point lead with just above 7.5 to go in this game. That is Herder on the rollout pass to Matt Gillis, who scores the Ashland touchdown. It is 23-20 Ashland, as we said, with 7:38 to go in this game. You are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. And John Giglia, who has been perfect so far today, will look to give Ashland a 2-possession lead. And, sorry, not a 2-possession, a 4-point lead, I should say. And he stays perfect, a 24-20 Ashland lead. And Wayland, who, this game is, Deirdre, as we've seen, the momentum has gone back and forth, so it's not like Wayland is playing from unfamiliar territory here, but now with less to go in the game, this is where a home crowd really helps. If you're Wayland, what do you think they should try to do here?
Yeah, definitely. This crowd is loud. We do have that energy. And I think that, as we've seen from Ashland, they have a very captain-dominated team, I would say. And I think from Wayland, they have a captain-dominated team, but they have a certain respect for each and every player. And they're working together as a team, and we can see that. It's not just the same players every time for Wayland. Everyone is getting involved, and everyone has those capabilities. So I think from Wayland, what we need to see is those lesser recognized players stepping up and really helping out. Because as we see, if Sutton is still along the sideline or hurting in any way, it would really help their team. And a lot of the guys that are in right now have been playing this whole game, and they are fatigued. So just anything to get that smaller advantage will help Wayland to ultimately a victory.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like for one of the first times, Goodfellow will be back by himself. Usually has Sutton with him. This time they'll be smart. Actually, at the beginning of the second half, for the first time, they actually kicked off to Goodfellow, who used his speed, broke some tackles, and gave Wayland their best field position today. So actually learning from the mistakes, tried to test them once, won't do it again, but we'll squib it, and we'll start Wayland up at the 32-yard line. And now it's Adam Goodfellow's turn to turn in a drive. Touchdown gives them the lead. Sutton, we don't know exactly if he is in. He looks to be on the sideline right now. Cannot tell if that is him, but on his knees. Don't know if that is him for sure. We'll get that. We'll obviously see if he's in to start now, but
Yeah, we are not sure where Sutton is right now, but he does not appear. Oh no, he is on the field now.
Field, yeah, different player.
That's a good sight to see. He is important, as we talked about many times today.
And it looks like a penalty was called on the run back, so Wayland starting way back at around their own 15. It'll be to Sutton, who stiff arms the defender, keeps going but won't be able to get too much, and will be down at his own 19, I believe. Ashland player's down. Number 9, Matt Gillis, I believe that is, who just scored the touchdown. And players on their knees here.
That's an unfortunate injury, if that is an injury. It appears there might be also a Wayland player down over by Goodfellow. You can see players stretching each other's legs out. It usually means there's a quad or.
And with a little less than 6:45 to go in the game, Ashland with a 24-20 lead. 4th and 7, Wayland getting ready to punt, and punting for them is number 56.
And this is where mental toughness really comes into this game. This is where these athletes and these guys really have to start digging deep for this. And this defense is going to have to make a pretty huge stop, and this offense is going to have to execute, but it is not without their grasp at this point.
No doubt, Fennelly with a pretty good kick. Let's see with the bounce. Yeah, it's a good Wayland bounce. It keeps going.
Beautiful.
And it'll get down to the 30, exactly. And that's where Ashland will start at their own 30-yard line with a 4-point lead, exactly 6:29, a little less than 6:30 to go in this contest. Game 3 of the regular season for both Ashland and Wayland. Wayland trying to get a stop here and we've talked about it seldom, but we've brought it up a few times, especially on that Wayland 4th down stop. This is where a home crowd advantage really helps Wayland on defense here. A third down really goes towards Wayland, considering the type of support they're getting compared to Ashland, who are in a more hostile environment. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Again, you are watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of the Wayland varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. Herder hands it off to Molesky, no surprise. Molesky breaks a couple tackles. He's just been stellar throughout this game. Spun down, not before gaining about 7, which will set down a 2nd and short.
Yeah, we can clearly see why Molesky is a captain of this team. Him and Herder have really been working well together this whole game. But I think Wayland is really seeing those plays now, and they're understanding what it takes to stop him.
Yeah, and the clock running, just 1 under 6 to go in this game. And, Ashland obviously going to take their time with each play, holding a 4-point lead. But Wayland needs a stop. A 3-and-out would be huge here. So this run by Molesky, if they can get a tackle for a loss, that would be massive, as number 4 shifts across behind the line. And they will stuff Molesky, who fights for something. Don't know if he gets there. Molesky will. No signal yet. And I believe the ref's holding up a short. Oh, no. Another ref comes in. It is a first down.
Wow, yeah. So
that's massive for Ashland.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate first down for Wayland. It was a very nice play from Molesky to keep fighting through that tackle, though.
Yeah, and Ashland, no surprise here, walking through their substitutions, or jogging, I should say. Herder, not sprinting by any means to the huddle as we go right below 5 minutes.
Yeah, and this is something we kind of saw with Amesbury last week. Amesbury was confident in their last final plays, and it worked. They got Wayland down. They got Wayland in their head. So I think if Wayland can keep that out, then they're in a good place.
Herder will keep it. He'll look to throw. He has number 8, who will not catch it.
Incomplete. And
that is Keegan Weiss. Was open, but just a little high.
And as we keep saying, if they pressure Herder, unfortunately, those passes have been incomplete. So I think if the Warriors can continue that, then the game is not out of their hands with just under 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
They're still in this game for sure.
Risky play call there, though, by Ashland, because that stops the clock. Obviously, everyone expecting them to run to keep the clock going, and the run game has worked, but tried to catch Wayland off bounds. They actually were able to, had an open Weiss, but he wasn't able to catch it. That's massive for Wayland. It's a 2nd and 10 with the clock stopped at 4:36. Herder now in the gun motion. And it will be a handoff to number 16, who tries to get outside, but he is tackled. What a play. Breaking through is number 23, Makai Walker. And that is, number 23, Makai Walker. That is massive. The clock will roll, but it is a 3rd and 14. So this is huge. Ashland obviously has to throw, really, if they're trying to get a first down here, as we're nearing in 4 minutes left in this matchup. Ashland up 24-20. Herder in the gun. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Molesky on his right. Wayland looks to blitz. Has pressure. Will get to Herder, and it's incomplete.
That is amazing for Wayland.
And the incompletion there stops the clock.
They've really been having trouble completing those passes. I'm not even sure if they've had more than 2 passes complete this game. So that is huge for Wayland. And with just under 4 minutes, things are looking good. This momentum's hanging up. I think if the Wayland crowd gets loud, this is looking good for Wayland right now.
As you said, Deirdre, 4th and 14 here. Ashland will punt it off. Looks like we can expect around a 5-second runoff. So we're really looking at 3:40 left, realistically, for Wayland to get down the field. They need a touchdown. A big booming kick. Goodfellow fields it. bounces the outside. Ashland getting to him, and a big stop there. Goodfellow trying to get outside, but a massive tackle. Number 11 there, who is Jake Caveney. And that'll set up Wayland with 3:36. And Goodfellow, who's played a great game so far, a couple turnovers, but this is a quarterback's or any player's dream to have the ball late in the game, down and needing a touchdown. You know, that's what kids dream about when they're playing football, and Goodfellow has that chance here. You have to know that he's prepared for this moment.
Yeah, and something we may have not pointed out before, Anthony Goodfellow just got really hit hard in the head, and he's walking up and down the sideline, and he looks to might have a concussion right now. He's not doing too well.
And a handoff. Sutton, who had a fumble that kind of turned the game, holds on to it this time and gains about 3. But yeah, as you were talking about, I believe Anthony Cavallo was the
yeah, and he's been a really big part of this game, and that is unfortunate to see him come out. But as we've said time and time again, this team doesn't rely on one player. So
Goodfellow now hands it off against Sutton. Sutton takes the hole. Sutton is going. Sutton has space. Sutton still going and is down at the Ashland 45-yard line. Sutton, who came out a couple times due to injury, limped off the field, but now in full rhythm, 3 minutes left.
Beautiful play by Sutton, and that's a huge play for Wayland in general. 3 minutes left. This is where we want to be. Our momentum is high, energy is high, crowd is hyped, and this is good.
Goodfellow again will give it to Sutton, and that will go for maybe 1, and that is big for Ashland because unless Wayland calls timeout here, and they only have 2, using 1 earlier in the half, and they'll let it run down, I believe. Yeah, they're letting it run down. It's 2.5 left. You know, Wayland might be being a little too cavalier with the time here.
Yeah, that is something to keep in the back of our minds. That clock is running.
Goodfellow in the gun. Sutton on his left have ran every time so far today, and they are still
I'm not
wasting
sure why
some
this is happening.
2:15 left.
This does often happen,
Sutton moves to his right. Goodfellow takes a snap. Goodfellow moving outside, and he won't get in much.
I'm thinking that a timeout right now would be a really good idea. They're wasting a lot of time. There's just under 2 minutes, and they don't seem to know what they're doing right now.
3rd and 7, under 2 minutes. Clock is running. No timeout taken yet, 2 for Wayland, and this obviously is 4-down territory. Let's see if Goodfellow can convert this. Still getting the play, and a lot of time being wasted here.
Yeah.
100 seconds left in this game. Goodfellow finally ready for the snap.
And at the beginning of that play last
Takes it,
time,
backs up, has pressure, has to let it go, and it is picked. And
that is
number
picked up
51.
number 51, Patrick Dolores, the junior from Ashland. That
in all likelihood will be the game. Goodfellow was getting massive pressure under the middle. Looked like an HB halfback slip screen there.
Yeah, that is extremely unfortunate. That is not all unfortunate. That is not Adam Goodfellow's fault at all, or by any means. But that is an unfortunate play, and will most likely be the game.
And with a little over, exactly, a minute and a half left, Wayland in all likelihood will fall to 1 and 2, down 24-20. Goodfellow's 3rd pick of the game, but that's not indicative of how he's played. He's had a great game so far today.
Yeah, and who would you say have been the star players today other than Goodfellow?
Yeah, you have to talk about Sutton. He came off a couple times with injuries, but other than that, regardless of that, I should say, he's played great, had some big runs, even on this drive. And then obviously O'Driscoll, who's had 3 catches, I believe, that I remember, but 2 of them massive. One of them was a 72-yard touchdown bomb. The other one put Wayland on a 3rd and long, got them to inside the Ashland 5, which led to another touchdown. The other one was as the first half was ending, got a 1st down. Wayland wasn't able to convert that into points. But O'Driscoll, Sutton, and Goodfellow, all seniors, I should say, have been the big 3 for Wayland. But probably won't be enough as a handoff to Ashland. Ashland Molesky, who's had a monster game, carries it out to the inside Wayland territory, the 44-yard line, and Wayland takes a timeout here.
Yeah, and I would give the most outstanding player for Ashland to Andrew Molesky. He's had an outstanding game today. And I think the unsung hero would go to number 8, their kicker, Keegan Weiss. That is ultimately the difference between this being a 4-point game to a 1-point game.
Yeah.
And I think that the unsung hero today for Wayland would be Luciano Sebastianelli. He had a huge tackle on Molesky, and he's had some really great tackles throughout the game.
Yeah, inside 1 minute here, and sorry, apologies. Looks like Wayland will not be taking a timeout. They'll let the clock run. Now a timeout is called by Ashland. 57 seconds, right under a minute. And in all likelihood, going forward now, Wayland will, assuming they lose this with Ashland with a 4-point lead. Again, you're watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football against the Ashland Clockers. This will put them to a losing record right now, 1-1. But obviously some positives. What would you say, some of the things they can work on here going into the season?
I think that just being able to keep on their toes and learning the different types of plays. I think that offensively, Wayland did a really good job completing their passes and getting through those holes. So I think the progress remains defensively, but that's not to say that their defense wasn't amazing today. I think it's just learning and developing that IQ of the football game.
Yeah, and Wayland obviously would need a turnover here, a fumble, but Molesky's been amazing with the ball so far today. Another handoff, a big hole. He's going, and
that's a nice tackle from Andrew Goodfellow.
Inside the Wayland 35, the clock, in all likelihood, will run. I believe Wayland will complete. We'll let this. Yeah, they will.
There you go.
And coordinators have left the box, so.
Unfortunately, that will probably be the game with the clock just at 30 seconds running down.
Yeah, and
well-fought game from both teams.
No doubt a 1st and 10 here for Ashland, obviously taking their time. This might just run out all the way. And 20 seconds left now. Ashland up by 4. Probably one more play will be ran, maybe a timeout to. Yeah, they need to get one more off. Maybe a timeout will be called. No, a delay of game, I believe, with a flag thrown. Yeah, delay of game. Ashland is fine with that. With 8 seconds left in this game, Wayland will fall to 1-2. Ashland will go to 3-0 on the season with this win, 24-20. And probably just a kneel down to end it. I don't know if the clock will begin to run again. Looks like it won't. So Ashland will need to get this play off, but they will obviously, in all likelihood, kneel this. And hard-fought game, but just waiting for Herder to. And he will.
The ball has been kneeled, yes.
And that is the game. Wayland 20, Ashland 24. Wayland falls to 1-2. Ashland goes up still undefeated, 3-0. You have been watching Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football. I am beside me was Deirdre Brown signing off from this highly contested matchup. Thank you.